Musibire muta, mwasibye mutya.
No way.
Agandi, Bible, habari gani, muraho, sangonini, kopango, odeo. For those of you who are wondering what that was, these are some of the various local greetings found in East Africa's diverse languages. Welcome to SheCentre, the female podcast, where I dive into the issues and experiences that affect women everywhere. I am your host, Resti Kansime, and I am passionate about creating a safe space for women to share their stories and triumphs. I want to thank you for tuning into my podcast, and I would love for you to join our community and stay connected with us beyond this episode. You can find us on Instagram at _SheCentre_podcast and follow us on Facebook at the SheCentre podcast. Don't forget to subscribe to this podcast and hit that follow and like button on our social media to be part of the conversation. Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Happy new month. Happy Monday. I hope everyone is doing good, and welcome back again from the SheCentre giveaway season. A special shout out to Doreen, Kihembo, Linda, Gloria, and Dagire, and Alithia Tudiatemba for taking part in the giveaway. Everyone else took, so many people, but those were the lucky winners. Congratulations to you guys, and I want to thank you once again for listening, for supporting, and for dedicating your time to this passion of mine, and for giving a space to the SheCentre people, the women who have come on here to share their stories. Together, we're not just sharing stories, we're making a difference, one life, one story at a time. And on this journey of SheCentre, it's very exciting to always meet new people who are inspiring me and inspiring so many people. So thank you once again, and happy anniversary to me, to the SheCentre community. Guys, it's been 1 year of hearing banange, the stories. I'm still looking for more and more stories to inspire y'all. So thank you once again. And to the new people who are coming on here, thank you so much for joining this community. I hope you can stay, scroll down, listen to all these other episodes that are there. I am sure you will find one story that will completely change your life. Speaking about changing lives, I have a special guest today. This girl is vibe on vibes, you guys. I was thrilled to meet her, not in person, virtually, but I was very, very happy to hear her story. It started out with just me reaching out to her because I heard about her from social media, but I was truly inspired by just a short clip about her life. I followed her on social media, and she did not disappoint. This girl blew my mind with her testimony, and it is truly stories like this almost every week that remind me of why I'm doing this. So I just want to tell you a little bit about my guest today, our guest today. She is Divine Lynn, CEO of Happy Petals, and this is a business focused on landscaping, interior, and compound designing. I think it's located at Motive around industrial area. You guys, I'm sure, know about it. Divine, in this episode, is going to share about her powerful journey of overcoming childhood trauma. Oh my God, this girl went through so much. I don't even know how she manages to share her story with so much peace, grace, and joy. She faced abuse and she has lost so much, but through faith, nature, and her passion for plants, she has found healing, and she has found a way to help other people reconnect with themselves as she did for herself. So please tune in until the end, until you hear more about how she has managed to overcome and how she turned her pain into purpose. One plant at a time, she is transforming lives and inspiring so many people. So I hope that this inspires you. I will talk to you at the end. Bye-bye for now. Hi, Lynn. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm okay. How
How
are
are-
you, Rusty?
I'm good. I feel your vibes. Like your vibes are so positive. For some reason, I'm so excited. I don't know
You think
why.
so? Well,
Normally, when
thank
I
you.
start with a high, I'm like hyping myself up. But our previous conversation has like given me so much excitement to have this conversation.
I'm
Has anyone
glad.
ever told you you have positive vibes?
Actually, there's this one time I went for a meeting, and the client that I was going to meet was quite really tough. Like everyone was so afraid of her, and everyone was telling me, when you go, you have to, be like this, compose yourself, don't talk too much, don't do this. In my head, I'm like, but that's not me. I'm usually just loud and I just wanna. And
Yeah.
then when we started like having a conversation, I was literally just smiling at her and just like talking like,
Mm.
come on, like you're a woman and I'm also a woman. Like it's not
Yes.
different. And then she looks at me, she's like, I really like your aura. I'm like, huh? Everyone looked at her
Yeah.
like, oh, I think she likes you. That's when I realized that. But anyway, it's something that people have told me about. I am still
Mm.
just learning to like accept it now. I think that's
Mm.
just what God made me really. So I
Yeah.
can't deny it or
That's really
anything.
cool. Yes, there's people who you just be around and you just feel like I don't know why, but I feel much better. Like I'm feeling excited and positive to like face the day and everything. Like you said, yeah, that's how God creates
Yeah.
people. But have you always been like this?
Yeah.
You have?
Well,
That's
I
very
think
cool.
so,
That's
yeah.
very cool.
I've always been just a jolly person generally. And there's some things that, happened in the way when I was growing up and all, and
In
it
the time,
made me kind of like
yeah.
a reserved person, and I kind of like
Yeah.
pushed people away like a lot. Like for like I just ghosted everyone really. And I just didn't want anyone around me or even anyone like talking to me or
Yeah.
anything. I just wanted to like be alone.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I think I'm now getting better. I'm actually like okay now. It's been a while. It's been a while, and
So
I
you
just
got
thank God
yourself
that
back.
yeah. When I look back at everything, I'm like, yikes! Oh, that wasn't
I know.
me. Like anyone
I know.
point.
I understand. I do. I think it's much fulfilling to live like to live every day knowing that you're living your full self, because
Yeah.
when you're living in a space where people are limiting you, I've been in those spaces before, like people are like, you're too loud. I'm like, I'm trying to be quiet, I'm trying to this. And at the end of the day, I'm so frustrated. I'm like, Panang, like I didn't give my whole self on that day. But then you meet some people and you're like, this person just makes me want to be me. And then
Yeah.
you're like, that really felt really good. It must feel good to wake up every day and just be you, because some people can't.
Well, what else are you gonna do if you're not you? You're literally your
I
own
know.
person. You came here
I
alone.
know.
So
Yes.
it
Yes.
all comes back
That's
down to you.
amazing. Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
So thank you so much. That was a very good conversation started. I hope your nerves are down now. Yes. So, as I said, I would just repeat a little bit because I feel like people need to hear what I want to say. Like, I feel like everyone needs to understand
Yeah.
what I'm trying to do. So, as I said, I'm building this platform. I have a big vision that scares me. Like I
That's
have a
good.
huge plan which I feel like it's in my head. It's literally like, you know how God gives you a plan, you're like, just write it down. I have it. I know how it should be. People have told me, Resty, you're wasting your time. This thing is not going to work. I'm like, I will make it work. So I
Yeah.
said, you know what? Let me start a podcast and give people an idea of what exactly, so that by the time the platform that I want to start comes up, is launched, people will be like, okay, I get what she's trying to do. So I
Yeah,
want
we've been
to
seeing her
help
progress
women.
and all.
Exactly. So I want to help women. Growing
Mm.
up, I went to boarding school, girls only. Until I was 17, I was only in girls' school. So
Oh.
and then I was raised by a single mom, raised by so many women. Like the most important people in my life are women. Like I've seen power women, weak women, strong, like all kinds of women, women who have gone through all kinds of things, sorry. And I feel like
Mm.
that gives me some kind of perspective. But then this whole plan started with me. Like I'm sure most people, whatever they are doing, it starts with, you look into yourself
Yeah.
and you're like, God, what happened? So I shared in the first episode of my podcast about my
Mm.
story and my journey. I didn't go so deep into it because it's really hard to share your story when no one is asking you questions.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
yeah, I was asking myself, like, God, why did these things happen? Like, I could have been, when you look at someone and, like, it's for instance, if someone looks at you and they're like, yeah, I want to be as jolly as she is, like free
You did not
spirited.
know the pain.
But exactly. So I had to, I felt like God put me in that space where I was like, go back to the beginning. What is your
Yeah.
pain? I literally wrote down everything. I like journaling. I'm getting really bad at it these days because I don't have time to. But I started journaling stuff that I've been through. Like, cause like, God, why did I go through this? And I felt like God telling me, just write everything down. After writing it down, he was like, now I want to use everything in there to help someone else. And then I started not only to write about what happened to me, but what happened to my mom, what happened to the women that I know. I worked in Uganda in a project where we talked about school-related gender-based violence and early grade reading. Like, I was like deep in the villages, and my perspective was completely changed. You know how you meet
Yeah.
someone and you're like, how are you surviving? Like, how are you alive right now with all these things you've been through? So all
I
those
know.
experiences, I put them together, and I'm like, okay, I have all these things. I want to start something. Until I think about 2 years ago, 2022, I got this job. I hated it. But then eventually, before I quit, I
Mm.
realized they were doing exactly what I wanted to do. Like, they had this online platform that was that was helping English speakers living here. It was like a
Ah,
360 of everything to help you like navigate your life here and there. I'm like, oh my God. I
that's
wasn't
my
here to get a
vision.
job, to get money. I'm like, this is exactly what I want to do. I even pitched the idea to my bosses, and they were like, what? Like, you just got our idea and turned it into this thing. My friend works for the UN. I texted her to give her, to give me some advice. People who work in the UN, you think they are smart. They have like all these things.
Yeah.
Like, they have,
And
my
the
friend
UN
told
is
me,
not for
Resty,
everyone also, that's the thing.
yes, right? And she was like, Resty, what you want to do? Even the UN is not doing this thing. Like, literally, she told me, even the UN is not doing this. I'm like, I'm confident because I went through a process until 2022. That was a 2020, 21, 22. So 2 years of me having that fear and doubt of, can I do this? By the time she
Mm.
told me that, I was content. Like, I had already like seen how the platform works, because before I didn't know how. So many people would tell me that won't work, but I kept like putting on the side and writing. I would see, when you watch a movie and you're like, oh, okay, that can be input into this. So when I
Mm.
finally got to that space where I know this is what I have to do with my life. Like, no one can tell me otherwise. So when she told me that, I told her, then if the UN can't do it, maybe someone has to. Like, I confidently told her that. She was like, anyways, let's see. I sent my proposal to my professor at the university. It was like a bold step because the guy, like, he barely knew me. He just
Mm.
like was my supervisor in my study. And I
Yeah.
sent it to him, and the guy said, "This is a very big project, and if it's finished, it's finalized, if it's made possible, it will really,
Mm.
really help people." So
Yeah.
just me hearing that from people gave me some kind of confidence to know, okay, there's a challenge, but there's also someone who says, if it. So there's an if. So I
Yeah.
said, you know what? To get to that point is too far. Like, I need money, I need all these things. But normally you start with
Mm.
what you have. Because what I
Yeah,
told God was like,
definitely.
God, I don't have the experience, man. Guys start these things when they are billionaires, Oprah and stuff. I'm like, I don't have that stuff. I don't have it.
Yeah.
But I felt God telling me, Resty, remember Moses? What do you have in your hands? Start right there. Like, so I said, okay,
Mm.
I love to
Mm.
talk. Talking is my thing. You know that song of Kansime, my name is Kansime. I love to talk. I am called Kansime and I love to talk. I think it's our thing as like Kansime.
Yeah.
But I was like, talking is my jam. Like, let me start a podcast and talk to women, because I feel like
Yeah.
I know what women have gone through based on my experience through on the other side of their lives and what I went through.
Mm.
But I
Yeah.
want women to tell their own stories. And through that, I want to inspire other women. Because I feel like
Mm.
if I don't have the money to start my platform right now,
Yeah.
me inspiring people through a podcast by just buying microphones and some software, it's a
Mm.
start.
Yeah.
And
And that's a
since
very good
last year,
start.
yeah, and since last year, I've seen huge growth. Like, my mind has been open. Every person I talk to has given me perspective. I'm like, okay, I need to add this aspect. I need to do this. So it's very exciting. I be online there just looking around. I'm like, Bananga, should I text this person? Would they even accept? When I even accept, I'm like, anyways, just do your thing. I always start with
It all
boldly
comes
and
down to
stuff.
the
But
confidence that you have in yourself and God
I
as well.
know, I know. So when I reached out to you, I'd seen you initially. I think how I got to know about you was on, is it, what's his name? Ronda Bananga. What's the guy's name? That guy who is like doing mental health and stuff. What's his name?
Oh, Wonder JR.
Wonder. Yeah, I saw you on Wonder's timeline, and
Yeah.
then I followed your plant thing because I'm like person who is trying to love plants, but I'm not yet there. Like I was sharing,
For them.
so I was like, yeah, I was like, okay, this is interesting. I love how this person has gotten something that our grandparents did and did not have any social media, and she has made it seem so cool. Like I want to own plants because she's making it seem like such a fun experience. So
It
I said,
is.
I heard you in my mind since last year. I was like, I need to talk to this girl, but I need to
What?
first see when. Yes, I was like, I need to first see. You know how you keep postponing something, but then something is like, just send her a message, whatever. If she doesn't respond, you tried.
Yeah.
So here we are now, and the question I like to ask women, or the question rather that I'm asking and answering, which is in my giveaway. It's a book that I read from Oprah Winfrey. It's and Dr. Bruce Perry. It's What Happened to You, where she says that everything that happens to us from the ages of 0 to 5 impacts our whole lives, and that everything that goes on in our lives, it's something that can impact how we see the world and how we react and interact with other people. When I read that book, it really resonated with me. That so I've read so many books in discovering who I am, and every woman I've talked to has kind of showed me how important this discussion is. Because in many cases, we always start with, "Ah, what's wrong with that person? Like,
Yeah.
Yabachi, like, what's wrong
It
with them? Why are they
is.
like this? I even actually read another book called Why Am I Like This? Because it's almost like what happened to you.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's not fair to just meet someone when they're an adult and judge them based on that. Like you said
Definitely.
earlier, like there's a whole lot that has happened before you
Yeah.
got to who you are right
Before you
now.
even
Or
discover
it's
yourself and love yourself.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
And it's not good for you to look at people who are confident and everything, and you just expect, like, yeah, yeah, let me just say what I can say. She can handle it. Like she hasn't been through anything. What does she know? Because there are many people who be like, what does she know? Until that person opens their mouth and you're like I have
Yo.
friends who have told something about my life and they're like, Jesus Christ, how did you experience this? So I like to ask, please share about your childhood and how you think it might have impacted the person that you are right now and how you see the world. And maybe before we start, you can shortly introduce yourself and what you do. Yes.
uh, my name is Divine Riber Lynn, and I am the CEO of Happy Petals Uganda. Yeah, I think that's usually like the introduction that I give us all. Like I just say, my name is Divine and I am the CEO of Happy Petals. And it usually just stops there. Maybe should I talk about my age? No, that's not necessary. I think
I
I'm
don't
lying to
know.
someone.
I know. Don't unlie. But yeah, I think you can just yeah, I guess that's enough. You can just
Yeah.
tell us about wherever you want to start. I don't know.
Um, so I got the whole idea of the podcast and what exactly you're doing, which is really, really amazing. And I pray God really just blesses you and,
Thank
brings
you.
in more people that will connect you exactly to the destiny that you are looking forward to.
Amen.
Visions usually come from God, and that's a very, very beautiful thing. And the only way you
Yeah.
can maintain that is through God as well. So if God
True.
has
True.
blessed you with such a beautiful idea, I am so
Yeah.
sure that He's going to sustain it and also,
Amen.
help you further on in life. Yeah, so well,
Amen. You mentioned to say that you forgot to mention you're also a podcaster.
I am. Well, I haven't really started it yet. It's just something that is just on my, I haven't done
Yeah.
anything about it. I've been procrastinating for years. I tried to talk to some people to help me out, start the podcast and all. And it's really such a coincidence that our visions kind of like match. They are literally like in the same space
Yes,
and all
yes.
of
I saw
that.
the
And
title of your podcast. Yeah, that's really
yeah,
cool.
reclaiming hope and
Yeah.
all. Yeah. So reclaiming hope was just something that I wanted to do after I had really found my actual healing, and not just something that I just started just because I had the idea and all of that. Like I've really been trying to get to the point where I'm now like seriously okay that even if something happens and it triggers me, it's not actually going to put me in a position where I'm going to be sad and then I go back down to where I started and all. So I'm giving it some little bit of time, and I know the right time will come. If God really wants it
Yeah.
to happen, trust me,
Yeah.
it's gonna
It
happen.
will.
It's gonna,
It will.
yeah.
But like just as a by the way, if you need any help with like starting, I started from scratch, so I can help you like skip all that mumbo jumbo. I had to study like
No,
the
thank
whole of
you.
2022, the whole of last year I was like reading, watching podcasts and stuff. So I can advise you and help you to start, because I started also with that thing of geez, I don't even know what to do. Like, how do you do this? Which microphones? I watched like a million things. I did all these things. So I can really offer you my help. So
Thank you.
whenever
You're so
whenever you're
kind.
ready.
You're so kind.
No
Thank you
problem.
so
Yeah,
much.
no problem. This thing has to happen.
It has to happen.
All right. So tell us about your childhood. Tell us about Divine. Who is Divine? Where does she
Oh,
come from? What does she love? How did she grow
well,
up?
divine, divine, divine. My goodness. Ah, I don't even know where to start. All I
I
can
can
say
imagine.
is I have really, really just seen God work in my life in ways that I had no idea, would even ever happen. Happen. And growing up as like a traumatized child, and been through sexual abuse and everything, it kind of just like makes you a completely different person. You become rebellious. No one understands you. No one really actually knows what's going on with you. Just a child. You do not know how to express some emotions. You do not know who to talk to because, well, in my story, I should say, the people that sexually abused me and all put me in a position where I couldn't even tell my parents because I wasn't living with them at that time. And they literally told me, if you say anything, you'll never see your parents again. And as a child who really wants to go back home and be with mom
Yeah.
and dad, why would I start saying such things to them? Like it would literally just cause more problems. So I just grew up and I just became quiet. Like I wouldn't say anything. My parents found out about my sexual abuse and everything when I think when I was like 22, about 21 or 22. And that was even before the third incident happened because it happened three times. And I mean, at a point I was like, three times a charm. Wow. Why three times? Why me? Like from childhood, when I was a kid, my relatives, I used to stay with some relatives. My parents were fighting a lot and all that, still trying to figure out life as, young people, and they were still growing and, getting to actually like now have a child and all of that. So it was a lot of pressure on them as well. They had to take me to different relatives. I was growing up with different relatives and all of that. And you really never know who you leave your children around to. Like, you'd never know the person that you're actually leaving your child to. And
True.
as much as I blamed them back then, right now, I kind of like understand. And I also know that this wasn't my fault. It wasn't anything that, that I put myself into, though I used to have the guilty conscious back then. And I'd think that, oh my God, it's my fault. Maybe I did this. Maybe I dressed like this. Maybe this and this happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like, once you figure out that it's actually not your fault, and the Bible says we don't fight against flesh and blood,
It's
but
flesh and blood. Yes, that's one of my
yeah,
favorite scriptures. Yeah.
yeah. So now that scripture literally just opened my eyes, and I started like seeing things in the perspective of, oh, you could literally be fighting a demon right now, and it's just coming through this particular relative, and you don't even
Yeah.
know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the devil like literally just targets kids that are very vulnerable at that
I
particular.
said this. Who did I say this to yesterday? I said this to someone yesterday. I don't know who was telling me something about the child, like someone was sharing something about their child, and I told
Mm,
them the devil is trying like that means there is something huge coming in this person's life in the future if
yeah,
they're being targeted right now.
as
I
a
do not know who I
child.
said this
Yeah.
to. Yes.
I also do
Wow.
not know who I'm going to be yet in the future, but I know I scare the devil so much.
Yes.
To the
Definitely,
point
because he
that
tried to take you down. You know that song of, I
literally
don't know, I think it's Tasha Cobbs or something, says, "You should have killed me when you had the chance, because now
you
that I
cannot.
know what I know, huh? Hey, I'm coming for you." Someone said just the whole kingdom of the enemy, the devil is like, "Banage,
Hey, I
azukse,"
ain't
like
get
scare
devil
the
at
devil.
night. Yeah,
I
well,
love that. I
I
love
did
that.
have this
Yeah.
mindset definitely 3, 4, 5 years ago, because back
Yeah.
then all I
Sure.
wanted to do was just kill myself and just end it. I still have
Yeah.
all my scars from the self harm and all of that. And really, if we are to go down into the details of the story, it's quite wild. And I don't know if I should go deep, 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 but like I'll just give you the basic story of like how
Yeah.
everything happened. Yeah.
So
So
maybe just for any woman out there who might also be going through what your parents were going through, to make the decision to take, like, I grew up with multiple parents. Thank God I didn't go through this, but of course it's traumatic either way. So maybe you
yeah.
can start from, okay, at this age, my parents took me to live with family, because I think there are so many people who are going through this, especially those living abroad. My mom was living abroad, so I had to stay with different family members. And
Yeah.
this is happening a lot to our people back home who travel to
It's so
Dubai or wherever
sad
to work.
actually, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so when I was about 5, 6, that's when they took me to my relatives to be staying with them. And they left behind this one particular caretaker who was like my aunt. And she's the one that did this, by the way. Not even a man. Yeah. The first time, yeah, it was, I was assaulted by a fellow woman. Yeah.
Wow.
So as a kid, she'd like put us to bed and all of that, but then she'd like creep into my bed and touch me, and then she'd like, okay, the other things are too nasty. I don't know if I want to speak about them right now and all
It's
of that,
okay.
but
I
like, yeah,
understand.
yeah. So that was like the first time, and then after that, she took me to one of like her boyfriends, and they still try to like, yeah, do the same exact thing.
See.
It's crazy, but yeah. And then the second incident happened when I was about 20. I was working on a TV channel. I don't want to mention the name of the place and everything because I left the place, so it really has nothing to do with me anymore. And I was supposed to interview this one particular radio presenter in Uganda, and he told me to meet him at their radio station. So I went to meet him there, and we are supposed to like have a discussion. He was supposed to come on my show, which I was hosting on the TV station. He was supposed to come on it, and then he said, "Oh, you can come meet me. We discuss, blah blah blah, and prepare ahead so that once I come on the show, I know exactly what to do and what to say and all of that." And out of like I don't know, either excitement or I was just naive or I was just trying to do my job. I accepted and I'm like, yeah, sure. Because I had been on the radio station before. Like I had gone there for an interview before. So he was like, I'm like, okay, no worries. So when I got to the studio, he was still recording, he was still in a session. And then after that, he comes out and he says, "Oh, I'm a bit shabby right now. Let me get an Uber. I don't stay so far. It's just Mbuya. Let's just go. I change and then we go to a restaurant and then, talk, eat, and whatsoever, discuss whatsoever you're supposed to discuss." So in my head, I didn't really expect this man to like, take advantage of me at any one point. And I was like, it's just work. If he wants to go change or anything, I'm not gonna, come in the way of it. So I accepted and went to his home. I sat in the sitting room and then he got me a glass of juice which he had spiked, and I had no idea that he was spiked. Yeah, so I'm watching TV and waiting for him to like, come and then like we leave or something like that. And then this man just comes out of his room like half naked And I did not know what happened to me at that point, but I think whatever he put in the drink started working because I lost like my joints, everything. I had no energy whatsoever. I was just
Oh my
crying
God.
and screaming when he was doing whatsoever he was doing. I begged, I cried. And the funny thing is this man knew that I was assaulted as a child because I talked about that same exact story on his radio station, and I was
Oh
talking,
my
to the
God.
yeah. And to shock you even more, even the third guy knew that I was assaulted
I don't
twice
know.
before he did it.
Does it does it make them feel like, okay, since she has gone through it,
I
maybe
have
another
no
one
idea.
won't hurt? Like what?
I do not know. I have absolutely no idea. But yeah, and then so after that, after 2 years, I was up no, it was 2 years because I was first year at campus. And then when I was in my final year at campus, I was left with two papers to like get done with school and everything. This friend of mine that was my best friend back then is the one that introduced me to this guy. She came and she told me, "Oh, I have a friend of mine who really likes you, and all of that. He wants to come and visit us at hostel. He's bringing us something to eat and all that." And I was like, "Ah, it's okay since it's your
I
friend, and
remember
you
that
know each other."
plot at campus. Free food, why not?
Bruh.
Free food? We are
Prove
here
it. Yeah,
hustling.
I'm here digging my own grave. And I have no idea. All in
Man,
the name of food. All in the name of food,
I
man. It was
know.
so bad. And so so this last like Saturday that we had like at campus, and she tells me, "Oh, but you never go out or anything. Let's go out together and all of that. We are going with this same guy." And I'm like, man, I don't go out because I was like already best at church and everything. I wasn't drinking, I wasn't doing any of those things. Like I'd like really giving my life to Christ, and I was focusing basically on that. And
On your faith, yeah.
yeah, and at that time I was even still in a group. There was a group that I was in online. It was based in Oklahoma, and they were helping victims. Like different victims would be
Yeah.
on the space, and then you talk. You share your experiences, you pray, and all of that. So this man literally found me when I was on the call with the people talking about, assault and
What?
all. And he sat, he's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. How can people do such things and what not?" Like he was literally sympathizing with me and everything. And I'm like, "Oh, he's quite understanding. This, that." So we go
My
out.
enemy wearing what
Yo, can you
sheep's
imagine?
goats? They say goats in sheep clothes. I don't even
Yeah.
remember. Wow.
Wolves, not goats, wolves in
Wolves,
sheep
yeah,
clothing.
wolves in sheep clothing. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Yeah. So later on in the evening, we went out. And when we went out, remember, I wasn't drinking and all of that. So they gave me a glass of wine, and my first glass of wine really just took me down. Because I didn't know, like, my tolerance
Your
back then
body
was
was
like,
not used. Yeah.
yeah, not used to any of
Yeah.
these things. And then I wandered off. I found some other friends of mine that I went to high school with, and they were all shocked that I was literally there. They're like, "Eh, mulokole, okola chiwan." Hey, it's like everyone, like, like everyone was so shocked that I was in the
I
bar.
also used to find those people who used to be preaching at school, and then you find them in the bar, and you're like, boss, you used to make my life hell at school, making me feel like I was the devil. Now you're here drinking with us.
Now here you are.
I know
That's
those
exactly what he was.
experiences.
And then I
Wow.
met them, and their tables are like dirty. There's like drinks everywhere, and this guy just opens a bottle of Hennessy and he pours it down my throat. I'm now on one glass of wine, and like I don't know how many
Banange. If you
gallops
can't
of
handle
Hennessy.
wine, then what of Hennessy? Oh my God.
Yo, it was so bad. And then after, my friend kind of like looked for me, and then she found me. And then she just took me to the guy. Like she just took me to the guy to like sit with the guy, because like she's like, "Me, I still want to like dance and everything. So just sit here so that you don't move." But I was already like
Man.
off.
Gone.
And then this
Yeah.
guy like starts stealing kisses and all of that. Like I'm already trying to sleep. I'm already like in the process of blacking out, and he's stealing kisses, he's doing this and that, trying to touch me and all. I'm trying to fight him off. He started the whole entire thing from the bar. So I told him I wanted to go home, and sorry, back to hostel, because I was tired. and then it started raining immediately. When I say that, it started raining like
Okay.
heavily, and you couldn't even leave, so you had to like first stay and wait for the rain. But like, you know how your entire body is just down, but your mind is
It's
alert,
awake.
like
Yes, your
alert,
mind's
awake and
yes,
aware,
yes.
because you know you've been in danger before, and now you're like trying to sleep.
Yeah.
But then and then you're also having this thing of, oh, I'm also with my friend, she's not going to, like, let anything bad happen to me. The funny thing is, before we left the house, I told her, I was like, I don't want to go out there and then I get drunk and then I'm raped by some stranger because, some funny shit happened. And she's like, no, I'll be with you, don't worry, wherever you go, I'll be there.
Okay,
Yay.
that's what we used to tell each other at campus, and then you leave your friend because of shots, shots, shots. And
My
Smanya, this
friend,
is
didn't
my
she meet
song.
some random guy in the bar and come back home with a guy?
By the way, indeed, our brains are not yet developed at campus. Like, we shouldn't even be trusted with our own lives.
I
What the
know.
hell?
The frontal lobe, zero. No, nothing, nothing.
Yeah. Oh
So,
no.
after it stopped raining, we came back. Apparently, that new guy that she met was friends with his friend. So we came back together. So when we reached hostel, the person who said she would be there for me gave this man the key to our room to bring me upstairs. And she stayed in the car with this stranger that she had just met. So this man brings me back inside to my room and everything. And I'm thinking, oh, he's just going to open, like put me
And
in
go.
bed, cover me, and then like leave and take the key back to my friend. This man took advantage of me. He removed my clothes. He knew I couldn't fight. He removed my clothes and literally, bruh, that I was crying. I begged him, like I was begging him. I was crying. I'm like, please, I told you I was raped. Don't do this to me. Nothing. He still went ahead. After finishing, he got off me. And then I gained some little bit of energy. So I crawled to where we put our utensils and I picked up a knife and I told him, don't come close to me. Don't come close to me. Like, I'm going to kill you. Don't come close to me. And I was crying. I was naked. And then my roommate comes in upstairs, finds me with a knife, finds me crying. I'm like, this man has raped me. I've been celibate. He has raped me. Please. She was just laughing. Like, she was just laughing. Like, what was even funny? And then I blacked out because the alcohol became too much. So the crying and everything, I just passed out. Resty, I kid you not, I woke up in the morning and this girl let this man sleep in the same bed with me. She let the man stay in the same room, same bed with me. I woke up and this man was holding me in bed, holding me. I wanted to die. I just wanted to die. I got up as I get out of my room. Now he refused. I entered the shower, I took a shower, and I ran up to my friend's room upstairs. I couldn't even talk to him. I couldn't tell him anything. I was just crying. It was just so, like, I couldn't explain anything. Like, remember,
Oh.
I have papers on Monday and Tuesday.
Oh.
My last papers. I'm supposed to graduate because of these papers and all. Eh, I thought, did I graduate?
Gosh.
And my parents never even found out like the reason why. They just thought maybe I was like playing at school and I just didn't want to study and all of that. But
Panang, parents out there, please be kind when your child does not perform well. Things are happening.
you never know what's actually happening in your child's life. Yeah, it's really
Yeah.
crazy. But yeah, that was like the third time. And I won't go into details of what the girl did and everything because we're currently not even friends anymore. Though I forgave her because forgiveness is a virtue and it makes
Yeah.
your heart lighter and everything and it
Yeah.
helps you move on as well. So but that was like also the hardest part actually. Which was the hardest part. Accepting that all of these things happened and
You are a
forgiving the people that
Christian.
did these things to you and everything, and then on top of that, like, not blaming yourself for like the things that, oh my god, it took me a while. And actually immediately in that same week I booked a trip to go to Kabali to kill myself so that, like, I die in a place where they won't even find me, they won't look for me or anything like that. So I went to Kabale, and weirdly, when I reached there,
Why Kabbalah?
it
Why
was far.
Kabbalah?
It's far.
It
It's
just
like
came to your
really,
mind, Kabbalah.
it's really, really far. And there was this place that a friend of mine had gone to. So he said he liked it and everything. And he gave me the number of the person that was the caretaker of the space and everything. Yeah. So it was easy for me. So I took a bus, went to Kabale. I was there. I met these amazing people that I had no idea. I didn't know where they came from, but there was a group of people that were there, about like 10, 15, and they had come for like a friend kind of,
Yeah.
retreat. These guys made sure that I did not leave their sight. Every
Oh
single
God.
activity,
God is like, I
every
will
single
interrupt your
activity,
plan.
yo, every
I'm
single
like, guys,
activity.
please let me die in peace.
Please. Wa, campfire, jangu, jangu, jangu. Every single activity they were going for, please come, come, come. We are not leaving you behind.
By the
Like I
way,
don't
that's
even
that's
have the
quite
money for these activities, but you guys are dragging me or taking me boat riding. Please, I want to just kill
wow.
myself, please. And
Just
the
leave
funny thing,
me.
the, the funny thing is when the weekend was done and everything, we came back to Kampala with me in their bus.
Were these people like Christians, or they were just like
They're just
something
random
about this?
people. They were random people.
Oh
Some
my
were lecturers,
God.
some were like, it was just friends, you get. Like some were couples,
Yeah.
some were not. And I kid you not, I came back in their van. I sat at the front. They literally made sure they, up to hostel, they brought me back. I came back alive. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't think this is going to work.
Start off.
Well, when
You're
I'm
like,
going in main
wait.
character.
Now, first wait. Imagine you had left a letter. You come back and
Oh,
people
but
are
I
looking
didn't
for you
think
at
about
police, and you're like, Akomyeo, Atazuki is there. What happened? Like, did she
that.
resurrect?
Man, you are food there. What's up?
Oh my
You
God, I
didn't
know.
make up your
Imagine you
mind.
left like a cheat saying, guys, man, this is it. I'm gone. And oh my God.
Nothing, nothing. I
Wow.
came back alive in flesh and blood, magic. And then that's the time COVID was also like, around the
Hitting
corner.
you.
So I had to go back home and deal with everything at home. Imagine
During
a
COVID.
house that has 11 kids. My own personal room, I was supposed to share it with my other sibling because we are many. And like, I hated the fact that I didn't even have personal space to like, experience what I
Deal.
was experiencing. You'd be there crying, Django, Django, collect, Django. And you're like, man, I can't even be sad in peace. I can't do anything in peace.
Like, you
There's
didn't
no
have time
time.
to process what you had gone
Yeah,
through.
nothing. And that alone, it even made everything worse because everything was just, bottling up
Yeah.
and all of that. Yeah, it was really, really crazy. My goodness. And then one day, I just like, I don't know actually how the whole entire plant thing came. I just say like going through Pinterest and I'm seeing plants everywhere. I'm seeing plants here, I'm seeing plants there. I'm like, oh, I think I'm going to start doing plants or something like that. So what I did, I got my baby brother. He had no idea what was even going on. For him, he was just happy to hang out and all of that. We started collecting wild plants. Like we just go collect plants, collect plants. Then I got these tins, like saddling tins and whatnot, paint because Dad was renovating the house and everything. So I'll share with you some pictures later on if you don't mind and all
Yeah.
that of
Yes,
how everything
definitely. Please.
started. Of me
Yes, that
literally
would be
painting
good.
using a sponge, like almost, this
Had
is
you
that.
had you done like do you have art in your history, or it's something that you just were trying to discover?
I loved art. I really, really loved art from like way back then. But then my parents were like, it won't take me anywhere. So it's nothing that I should be doing at that particular point. Yada, yada,
Ha
yada.
ha
Look at me now.
ha ha. Shame on them.
Like literally.
Man, what the things our parents tell us, they out
Man,
there
sometimes they're just
disorganizing
dream
God's
killers
plan
for
for
real.
our lives. Yeah, but oh my God.
Because and actually I remember in high school, my class was just next to like the art room, the arts. So I'd skip classes and I'd be in the art room with art guys, just looking at them doing their work and also like trying to draw and everything. Ngambesi
Yeah.
bako, eh? Nga, you really know I'm not supposed to be in that class. But even the teacher just left me alone. It was like, you know what, just it's okay. Just be in the
Wow.
room, do whatever you want. It's okay, it's fine. Like, yeah, bako. But I did not do arts. I did not do it at any one point in high school. Like I just they
Wow.
didn't let me do it. Yeah. So I really just focused on entrepreneurship and everything else minus art. And now I'm here collecting different old tins and trying to like create something beautiful. And then I'm collecting wild plants. I'll share with you the pictures and the videos. You'll see them and you see how crazy it
Yes,
is. And
please.
every time I
Yeah.
look at how my life was back then, the things that I was doing when I just began, I can't even put those kind of verses in my house right now. Like the ones I was collecting back then, I cannot. I cannot have them in my space.
Yeah.
They look so bad.
Yeah, yeah,
But back
yeah.
then,
But
I was
wow,
like, yeah, I found
it was your
something.
starting point.
Yeah, it
Wow.
was. And then when I told my dad about it, I was like, I'm going to start selling plants. He looked at me like, "Ngaba na watu ndevi tukuku." Talking nothing I said. I swear.
I'm just imagining you on the street with your plants running. Nyabo, bitano, bitano, rukum bitano.
But it was lockdown though. Where was I going to go stand and start selling
I
plants
know,
with
right?
bananas?
I know. Oh my god, that's so funny. Like just even imagining it. It's so funny. Wow. It's so funny
So
how
what
our
I
parents
did,
envision life to be.
really, actually, yeah. So what
Yeah.
happens? I purchased my first set of plants from a friend of mine called Letitia, and she sent me 4 plants. And my God, I was obsessed with the plants. I was cleaning the plants every single morning. I wanted to water them every single day, like for no particular reason. Like she sent succulents. You're supposed to water succulents like once, a week because they already store a lot of water in the leaves and all of that. But I had no idea of any of those things. I was just excited. And the more I had the plants, the more I kept on seeing her stories and all, the more I fell in love with the plants. And then my Pinterest board definitely started changing. And even my algorithm, I think, how phones pick up when you
Certain,
start,
yes,
yeah,
definitely.
liking
Yeah.
something. The total spies, these ones, spies,
Yes,
spies,
I
spies.
know. The big eye, the big eye.
I
So you
know.
started seeing other people doing what you didn't even envision you could do, right?
Yeah, yeah. And then
Yeah.
I really just picked up the interest from there. And I started selling online. Weirdly, people were buying. Like, I'm like, huh? You guys are actually going to
It
buy
was
from me?
2020, my friend.
Yo, during lockdown, like when no one even had like a dime or anything like that, I started selling plants. And I was just so surprised that I could literally force my friends to buy things for me and they actually do it and they actually buy the things for me. Like I randomly texted my different friends who I knew had some little money. And I'm like, hi, I was laid off from work and all of those things. So I'm starting up this new business, selling plants and all. If you cannot support me right now, you can just, put this on your
Share,
story, share, or like, in case of anything
mm,
like that. That's how I literally started. And I did not really think it would become what it is right now, you know? And my dad phoned me one day. I had so many orders. I was working on the orders on his veranda. And he started giving me advice.
that's funny. He's
And
like,
he's
okay,
like,
now we are making money.
he saw
Wow.
that like I'd come home. The friend of mine who had a car that had that sticker, yeah. So he'd come home and help me
Yeah.
collect and we're make deliveries and all. So my just see me, eh, motoke ze, tugenda twala yo order, tugenda koma wedda. And he's like, oyo mukola said.
Hey, there's something here.
Yeah.
Potential.
He started shocking him like that, like that, like that. But anyway, after that, I went back to work because after COVID was, after they lifted the ban and everything, I completely forgot about the business. I went back to work because me, I thought,
Really?
hey,
What were
eh,
you doing? What job were you
I was
doing?
working at Fenon as a client service. for them.
Mm.
Yeah, so
Okay.
it was really good money. It was very good money. And I was working with them from like campus, like my whole campus life I was working for them as well,
Okay.
while also
Okay.
balancing ministry and all of those things. Yeah. So when I got the chance to go back, I went back. I asked my boss, I was like, please just let me come back and all of those things. And then he accepted, which was a very good thing. But then I knew that God didn't want me in that particular space because of the things that happened when I went back. A lot of things were just going wrong. Like you're trying to do the right thing, but you see that
You
whatever you're doing right
like
now is being
this is not your
imposed.
place.
Yeah,
You're
it's not
like
your
Jonah,
place.
out there trying to run away, and God is like, go back, go
Literally.
back.
And you know what? When I left Finland, I went to another events company thinking that these ones are just corporate events, I'm not doing entertainment or any of those things, so it will work. My friend, it did not work. After 3 months, I was done.
Fired. Did they fire you or you quit?
They
Or you
fired
just didn't
me.
feel like
They fired
my
me actually
friend,
because
my friend.
I became rebellious. The guy was so mean to me. Like I was the first month I was really good. I was doing my job and everything. But then he like say taking advantage of me and stuff. Like, why are you making me overwork? You made me drive in the middle of the night at 11 to come do a setup, and you refuse to pay for my fuel, and you expect me to be there till morning, and then also in the morning be there for that. Like, come on, man. I'm a lady. I'm a
Yeah.
girl. I'm not supposed to be staying out late at night and all of that. So small things just kept on piling up, and I reached a point where not, yeah, it just didn't work. And then
It
I
didn't work for
left.
you. Yeah.
Yeah, I left, and then I just went back home, and I was doing absolutely nothing, nothing. And then I was like, you know what? I used to make a lot of money selling plants. Why don't I just go back to my basics? Like, in fact, I went back.
Yeah. Yeah.
That time I was having a roommate and everything, but then and I was also going out a lot, drinking heavily. I was still trying to find peace, which I didn't have at that particular moment, because you look for peace in
Yeah.
all places and you cannot even find it. I was really just
Yeah.
trying to like figure out everything, and the good thing is God really isolated me, and he just put me in my own personal space. So I got my own apartment and everything, and I started now dealing with everything raw, alone, in my own particular space, because I think that's exactly what I needed. Because everyone was
Yeah.
always around me, so it was hard for me
Yeah.
to even process exactly what was going on inside.
Very
And
true.
yeah, so
Yeah.
when that happened, my goodness, those first 2 months were hell on earth. Yo,
It's like the whole past, I don't know how many years came
it-
all crumbling down.
yeah, like, and I'm in the house and I'm crying. My whole entire, I do not know what I'm going to do next. I do not know if I even have the money to pay the rent for like the next month and everything. Everything just became stagnant and stuck. I wasn't working, no job. Like, you stay in your apartment and you drink porridge for days. Nengo ni wa apartment yakaitia. Nengo ni wakuchi.
No, no, friend, my friend. Hey,
Hey.
keeping up appearances. Who
Ay,
should
ay,
know?
ay,
Nobody should know the hustle.
no one
Only
can
you in
even
your
know that you're
house.
going through anything, man. Like, how do you start
Yeah,
telling
and
people
that's
that
what
you're
that's what
drinking
makes it
porridge?
hard. That's what makes it hard for people to reach out and help you, because
Yeah,
you're like,
exactly.
did
Because
you
you're trying
ever
to show
like
that
did you
I'm
stop
okay.
attending this online thing that you used to attend?
Yes, I did actually stopped because now everything stopped making sense, and I really just hated everything. Like absolutely hated
Were
everything.
you going to
So,
church during these 2 months,
and
or
I
you had
stopped going
also
to church
stopped?
because something also happened at the church that I was in. They knew my story and everything, and they put me at the front to like help people who had gone through sexual assault and
They were
everything.
taking
But
advantage of your story, yeah?
not even that, actually. They didn't take advantage of my story, but one of the workers that was working closely with the pastor tried to sexually assault me. And when I went to report, those guys threw me under the bus. They said that I made everything up and I just wanted attention, made me sign an NDA, brought lawyers and everything, saying that I made things up and I just wanted attention. So after a while, I just knew that wasn't my place anymore and I wasn't welcome there. If I've been with you people, I've done everything, I've literally sacrificed my time, given you literally almost everything, and something happens to me, you're the people that I'm running back to, and you're doing this to me, throwing
Yeah,
me under
you're
the
not
bus and
here.
telling me, like, it was, that was just it. And actually, during that time, I also wanted to kill myself. I took pills, I remember, to like pass out, that they very strong painkillers. I took all of them, like about 10. I swallowed all of them. And the guy that I was dating then literally put his hand down my throat to make sure that I threw up everything. So I threw up and then went to hospital. They took me to hospital and drips and everything and all of that. And yeah, I recovered eventually. But with all the traumatic things that kept on happening, I was really just asking God, I said, why do you hate me so much, man? Like, what did I do? Why does everything have to just be like, why does it have to be me?
On
Like,
you.
come
Yeah.
on. And then I started like self-harming, kind of like put my mind off the pain that was inside my heart. So I wanted to like start feeling something that, physical. The one that is inside is no longer even, you don't even know if you're feeling something or not. So you have to like first hurt yourself a bit to see if
You're
you still have
numb,
some
huh?
little bit of, yeah, some little bit of like feelings or anything like that. It was really, really crazy. And those 2 months when I was in that house alone, wild, it was bad. I also attempted again. That was like, I don't know, my 10th attempt. I don't even know, because there were very many attempts. And the funny thing is, every time I attempted, it's like God just gives you more life. It's like, boss, take a Joraga. Face your challenge.
You are a cat. 9 lives I gave you. Don't waste them.
I swear, because that was insane.
Wow.
Like, that was insane. But yeah, at that point, I also had someone in my life who was really very, very supportive, and he was really there for me and all of that. And I started like coping up slowly, slowly. I let people in because remember I had shut everyone out. I wasn't talking to anyone. And my relationship with my mom was also like really terrible because the relatives that like assaulted me were from her side, but she didn't take my side, you know, and she didn't believe me. Yeah, yeah, it's crazy. She didn't believe me and all. And then every time I tried to like talk to her about the whole entire situation, she just like would shun, yeah, just not give me attention or anything like that. Yeah. And the last time that I tried to talk to her about it, I called her crying. That was the time actually, like now I was like, I'm going to actually kill myself. The last time like I was suicidal, I called her crying. I tried to explain that this and this happened to me when I was a kid. I was bringing it back and all of that. And she said, oh, I'm very busy right now. I'm going to call you back. I waited for 6 months.
Huh?
Six, no call back.
You
Nothing.
guys.
That's when I knew that, you know what? I'm actually on my own.
I think Hollywood needs to give you a call. This is a movie. By the way, Divine, I think you're telling us some movie. Because how? This seems, most times when you watch these movies, you just keep thinking, how? This can't be normal life of someone. Like,
It's not even a movie.
this can't be someone's life. This is some made
Unfortunately.
up stuff out there. Oh my God. I'm
Yeah.
so sorry.
No, it's okay because I don't know. Right now, I really just found peace in Christ. And I really figured out that the only way I'm going to survive, the only way anything is going to, work out for me is if I just fully surrender to God because there was
True,
no any
true.
other way out. So what I started doing, I'd just be in my house, play worship music and cry and tell him exactly how I'm feeling. I tell him where the pain is. I ask the questions. I do like I was just talking to him and I was saying everything that I was feeling. I'm like, I'm tired. I'm really tired. I don't know what to do anymore. I've tried to take my life and you just keep on bringing me back and all of that. Like, what else do you want me to do, man? Like, please. And then randomly, I went and visited a friend of mine who is also into plants, and her whole house was like a forest. I was like, oh my God, I love plants. I only have a few plants, and I'm such a plant lover. Like, come on, like the next day, alisiana sente nazifuna. I went plant shopping.
God, God provides. Meanwhile, you're drinking porridge. Anyway, porridge is healthy.
Yeah. Bushara is really, really healthy. I mean,
Bushara is healthy. Big ups to
it
those
is.
guys.
It is. And on top of that, I had pets. But I
Jesus.
was in my apartment
Wow.
suffering with my dogs.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Like,
Wow.
man. But then when I bought the plants and everything, so I was like, you know what? I don't have space right now. I don't have anywhere I'm going to like start this business, but I know my sitting room can work. I said like I decided to like use the sitting room as like my personal studio and then my bedroom to just be my bedroom. So I was doing everything from in there. I said like painting pots, clay pots. I'd go buy clay pots, paint and post online and post like buying things online. Like my whole entire market was really online. I was just using my sitting room to do all of these things. And eventually, I don't know how, but like eventually, like it started taking my mind off everything that was happening, to me and everything that had happened. Because now it would give me so much joy to just be painting, to be in paint, to be in soil, to be, caring and taking care of plants, collecting plants and everything. It just became my thing. My whole entire house became a forest, and it gave me so much peace, like so much peace. Like I had never experienced peace like that. But don't forget that at the back of my mind and everything, at the back of everything, I'm also praying. Like I'm like on my word, like on my word, and like because I knew I couldn't do any of these things on my own at a point, and I started figuring out that like what, this might actually be a spiritual attack. Because why? Like why? So I started praying and all, and then God kept on giving me different ideas. I have tons of books, like notebooks and everything. Like my, yo, I'll just be writing down everything. So,
Yes,
and
I
then
like that. I also have my book. I was like, I need to keep this book. It's
you
interesting,
need
actually.
to,
Just
when
I
you
don't
go
want to
back,
cut you, but I just want to experience what you just said.
yeah,
It's in obscurity, and it's in those moments when you're alone, because in many cases it's too loud, the social media, the
yeah,
everything. God
yeah,
usually puts you in a space where he's like, now I
isolates
have
you.
your
Why are you
attention. Like
quiet?
you have nothing, like you've reached the end of yourself, and he's like, okay, are
He
you
first
ready to
takes
do
away
it my
everything.
way? Yeah, it's like, I won't take your friends, I won't take your mom. Like you think your mom
Rusty,
will
I
help
was
you?
driving. I had no car. I don't know where the car went. Like everything
Just
just disappeared.
yeah.
Friends, I had
And
no
that's
one.
where he's like, okay, now
Now
let
I
me
have
start
your
pouring
attention.
in you. Yeah, now I have your attention. Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
so that's basically what happened to me, and I really thank God that He did not give up on me, even when I had given up on myself. Like He really did not. He came back. He still
True.
looked for me. He still made sure that I was okay. He still took care of me, even when I didn't have what to eat. Someone would come in, visit me, give me something, and all of that, and
Yeah.
life started getting better. And even the relationship that I had with like some of the people and all, weirdly we had different fights, they ended, and I was alone. Like I was really, really alone. It's like that, like everyone just disappeared for some random reason. But that is just, when I look at it right now, I just know that that was God really working, and He really just wanted to isolate me and then just start working in me. Because if I did not go through that, I don't know where I'd be right now. Like, absolutely. I have no idea
True.
of who
True.
I would be.
True.
But right now, wow, God is so good.
That's
God
really
is
that's
so.
I know. I know. I can't even imagine.
I don't know what my life would be like if God wasn't in it. Like, right now, I can't imagine. I can't imagine my life without God. I can't.
Because
I
it's like he has
absolutely
made you
can't.
realize that I am the only person who can help you with this burden that you have on you. And that's that I think
Exactly.
I think I think in many cases I've heard it said that if you have an experience, really, yesterday actually I have this community group that were like my prayer group, and one lady who is going through the worst, like she has tumors on tumors on tumors. Like every time she comes up and the chick is smiling and talking and everything. And for some reason, you won't believe this, how God works. So yesterday she shared in the message, she was talking about how she used to work with victims of sexual assault.
Yeah.
And then she goes like, there's something about it. It's like when these people are going through this, you need to let them go through it to come to the other side. Because if you intervene and help them and do this stuff for them, then you don't give them the opportunity to grow through it. Like they will go through it and they won't grow through it. And
Yeah.
for some reason, literally before I sent you the link to join the studio, because she has been like, we had this buddy system where they pair up with each other to talk through the
Yeah.
week. And she was my buddy this past week. So I was talking
Oh,
to her, and before I talked to you, I sent her a message and I said, you shared yesterday that you used to work with victims of sexual assault. I'm trying to build a platform where I want to help all kinds of women. And I feel like this is an area which I don't have that much information on. I kid you not, I sent her a message and said, is it okay if I can create, like, we can have a meeting for you to help me know how to help these women? And I
wow.
didn't know that the person I was going to, like, I knew part of your story. I knew part of your story because you shared, yes, I didn't know the whole story and how you use God. Like I was like, I don't know if she's a Christian. I don't know, because the short video I watched,
I didn't really
I
talk
didn't
about. No,
yeah, you
actually,
didn't
what
say
happened?
exactly.
What happened? It was longer, but then he cut
Yeah.
it short because it had to, like, fit into the Instagram reel
That time, yeah,
narrative.
exactly, yeah,
Yeah,
exactly, yeah.
yeah. So that
So
was
I was
happened. Like
like,
I
I don't
talked
really
about it at the
know if
end.
she's a Christian. I don't know if she's this. So I'm just going to listen to her story and maybe to help. And it's funny how God times everything. Like for you to and me to have this conversation at the time when I was a buddy with this lady, and for her yesterday to have shared exactly that. Leave people who are going through something to go through what they're going through so they can grow through it. And now you're a person who I was like, okay, I need to reach out to this woman. I need to make an appointment. I was like, because I don't know anyone. I know some people have come onto the podcast and shared what they went through, but that's not like what they're doing. Some of them, of course, they share online. I was like, okay, I'll reach out to these people, but I need someone who has done this work with these people. And then you
Yeah.
come on here and just blow my mind with your story. I'm like, God, how? Like you're just out there saying, Kakati Guevara, what you sit there and do this and do this and do this. It's so amazing how everything just falls into place in a very interesting way. Because I talked to a friend of mine, she does a clothing line, and I have this moments where, like, when everything is so busy and a lot is happening, I rarely
Mm,
hear from God, like per se. Like I
yeah.
try to make sure I have those quiet moments where I'm like, I need something from God, and like I just journal whatever it is that's going in my head. And recently I
Yeah.
had this vision. I texted a friend of mine. I said I feel like I need to do something which is like a charity where we bring women and help
Mm,
them. Maybe single mothers. I was like, maybe single mothers. I don't know. So last
mm,
week I said, you know what? I'm just going to like start like get my vision board, because I always do vision boards. I did my
yeah.
vision board this week. I did it and I found myself writing. I'm like, what kind of women? And for some reason this week something was telling me maybe the sexually harassed, or maybe this, like, but you need someone who understands what they need. Like you can't just come
Mm,
out there and give people what you like. Who am I? Like they'll
yeah.
be looking at you and say like, Gwani, like who are you? Do you know what we are
You
going
haven't
through?
even
So
experienced
some
what I've experienced, something like
exactly,
that. Actually,
exactly.
that's
How do
why
I come
therapy
and
did
start
not work for
preaching?
me. Therapy didn't work
Yeah,
for me at all. Like, I tried
yeah,
it and everything, but it didn't work. And this woman was just looking at me
yeah.
like, and I was just crying.
Giving you
And
advice on things that just don't
like, you
help.
don't
Yeah.
understand the words that you're going to tell me right now. They're not going to do anything. They are not going to help me. Like, I need you to
You had to
understand
have
me
gone through
on a
something.
deeper level of, I've been hurt and I do not know whether it's my fault or not, but I've actually been hurt. Like, please, it's
Only
it's
God.
so
Only
crazy. It's
God.
really crazy.
Only God can, like, God can be
Only
like,
God.
by the way, it's only me. I'm the one who knows. I don't know if you read Psalms 139. It's one of those
Mm-mm.
Psalms that I recite every day, which has that moment where it tells you, like, you know my inmost being, as in everything
Yeah.
about, like, before I was born, when I was in my mother's womb, I, like, you knew
Are you
the
saying
kind of person.
139? It's underlined in my
Yeah.
Bible.
Exactly. That is one
Literally.
Psalms that can just make you feel like, okay, God, it is you or none. And it's amazing. It's really amazing. It's amazing. I have been praying to God. I was like, you know what? I will do this podcast thing. I'll just keep putting the content out there. 2, 3 people who listens. I keep having this thing that keeps going into my head. It's not for me. It's for your glory. It's
Yeah.
for you. Like I'm just
Yeah.
obeying. I'm out here putting these stories there. It's not for me. It's not for the likes. It's not for the followings. Sometimes I put my content there. 2 people like it. There's some consistent
It's
people who
okay,
like,
and it's
and
okay.
I'm like,
Eh,
God, even I don't even want to look. It is for you. I'm not for anyone. That one person
yeah.
will listen to it and they will be changed. And for some
Yeah.
reason, I started to pray. I'm like, God, guide me on who I need to speak to on this podcast because I don't know the
Mm,
kind of people that you want me to speak to. But for some
mm,
reason, I don't know how, when I started this podcast, I just thought, you know what, just talking to people, family members, friends, I'll just talk. But for some reason, I've been guided to speak to people who have spoken into what I had no, like, you know, that thing where you had no idea about? Like, I don't have
yeah.
information about this thing. And God just says, okay, there you go. I'm giving you what it is that you were missing in your plan. And
Yeah.
I don't know
That's
how God does that stuff. I don't know.
it's really
Your
just
life
God. That's just
is
him.
Yeah, your life is such a testament to so many scriptures. Like I think your whole room, like you should. I don't know how. Like you know, stories you hear and you're like, ah, Bambi, that story. Yeah, it reminds me of this scripture. Like now, every time I think about you, I'll be like, shh, this girl's life is a whole testament, and I know that whoever is going to listen to it is like. Remember, we talked about how the internet was acting up in the beginning. And we're like, clearly God is trying to fight this testament.
Yeah.
This
Now you see
testimony, yeah.
exactly what we're talking about.
Exactly. And it's so amazing. Divine. Maybe you can just shortly tell us a little bit about like because now you moved from your house. How did you move from your house to now start doing, you know, your store? Because Bandanga, it looks so cool. It looks so amazing. I can't wait. I can't wait to come and visit it. I can't, to be honest. I can't.
Yay! I'm so glad you're
Please
gonna come.
share.
So
Yes.
what happened was my social media was like really good and really put together, and I was doing everything. I was doing all the artwork. I still had my MacBook with me at that point, you know. So I was editing and doing everything myself. But even my company logo right now was done by me from the first one to like the current one. Everything. God just gave me the grace
Yeah.
to have the ability to like learn like really fast, and I pick up things quite really fast as well. And one thing I know about me, once I put my mind to something, trust me,
Yeah.
I am going to make sure that I achieve it, because
True.
how many times have I tried to take my life? I wouldn't even be here right now. So why don't I have to make a difference with, you know, the
True.
the, the
True.
good that is left in me? So yeah, I basically just look at things like that. So my social media was like really good, and Motive reached out to me, and you know they're like, oh, this my particular my boss right now. He's like not like my boss, but like my boss, because the one who reached out to me. He's like, oh, you're doing amazing. I like the plant concept and everything, and I already had written down this idea of having a garden cafe like way back, way back. I
Wow.
didn't even know at any one point that I would like own or like have space to like, you know, put any of these concepts to come to life and all of that. And then this man has a cafe with nothing inside but just coffee. And I sell to him some plants that were going to a certain office to be renovated and everything. And I did all of those things from my home. Even the truck that came to pick up the plants came and picked them up from my apartment. Like most people would just come and pick up their orders from my apartment and all that. And then I went to meet him. I was supposed to pick up the pay, the balance and everything. So I went to meet him. Then he showed me his cafe and like motive and everything. He's like, hey, this is a home for creatives. You know, we support businesses and all of that. That's how I ended up at Motive. Because I was like, wait, do you have a cafe? I've always wanted to have like a garden cafe. He's like, garden cafe. I'm like, yeah, like, you know, you can have like a cafeteria with like books and plants and everything. And it's just a beautiful, I like, that's something that I'm like, I told him the whole entire idea. He accepted. I'm like, yup, wait. He's like, yeah, you can come. I'm like, What? He's like, yes, you
Wow.
like I'm giving you the space, I'm giving you the opportunity, you can do whatever you want. I feel like you're doing something really amazing and you just need like the right people in your life right now to support. And me? For real? Like what? Like so I didn't cry for nothing.
It was worth
But
it. Wow.
honestly, like God started showing up and showing off. I I did not see it coming. I just did not see it coming. But the fact that I had written down everything that I wanted to
Everything.
do, everything
Habakkuk
that
tells us, write the vision down,
write it
make it
down,
clear,
write it down. If
make
you
it
want to do
clear.
anything,
Yes,
write it down. It comes to your mind,
I'm almost
write
done.
it down. Yeah,
I just want you to speak to a woman out there that's going through what you went through, that is on the verge of giving up and wanting to end their life,
yeah.
that has tried everything and things are like munange, like I have failed. I'm at the end of myself. Speak
Yeah,
to them, because reading the Bible is another thing, but reading someone is easy, because then I'll be like, okay, that Paul guy sounds like a character, but this person, I have seen the Lord work in their lives. And
yeah.
I just want you to speak to that person out there and give them some hope, or just what would you tell them?
I would tell them to put their trust in God, no matter how hard things look, no matter how terrible things are, no matter the situation, no, like it doesn't even matter at that point how big the problem is. Keep your eyes on Jesus. Keep your eyes fixed on Jesus. If you even look aside and try to look for peace somewhere
Everywhere
else, you're
else.
not going to find it. You're going to stay in the same exact loophole every single time. You'll keep on falling in the same exact spaces because no one in this world can give you peace. Peace comes from God. It really only comes from God. Like it will never come from anybody else. It won't come from your friends who you're talking to. It definitely won't come from your therapist because they won't even understand you. It only comes from God. Real peace, if you really want to rest, let go and let God. Just let go and let God. That's the only thing I can tell you. You will fight. You will fight with all your strength and all your might, but you cannot do anything on your own. That's why the Bible says I can do all things through Christ who
Through Christ.
strengthens me. Christ is supposed to be your foundation of strength, of everything, of peace, of love, of joy. And you know the gifts of the Holy Spirit, once they come with peace, joy. Long suffering is part
Patience,
of it, is
forbearance, yes,
definitely
yeah,
part of it.
forbearance,
So
yes, yeah.
do not look at it like, oh my God, it's the end of the world. You're not going anywhere. Like, look at me. How many times have I tried to, like, come on.
Yeah,
I'm here
yeah.
sitting pretty on a podcast.
You know? Oh
I
my
had no
God.
idea. I had no
Yeah,
idea that I would be this person right now. But God is
yes,
just so good. Like,
true,
please, just fix your eyes on Jesus.
true,
Like, no one else
true.
is going to, no one is going to rescue you. You can't even rescue yourself. It's only God. It's only God that can fill up any kind of void that you have inside you, any hole, any bit that you feel like is missing. Just run to your savior because that's exactly his purpose. Like he didn't just go and die on the cross for nothing. Come on, like, do you know it means to be
True.
killed on a cross for someone you never even met? How long ago did
I
Jesus die?
know, I know,
So
I
this was
know.
a plan. That means that when God says in Jeremiah, "I knew you before you were even born," before that, it's because He actually does. That's because He actually does. Like He really, really does. So
Yeah,
whatsoever situation that you're going through out there, please, Jesus is the answer. I cannot even like,
yeah.
I don't know how I would like scream that if I had to. I'd like tattoo it all over my chest if I had to, but that's it.
You know, yes,
There's no any other, there's no
yes.
shortcut. There's nothing else. It's just God. It's just Jesus. And that's it. That's the only
As
thing
you're
I can tell
speaking,
anyone.
there's a song that is playing in my head as you're thinking. The enemy tried to kill me, and Jesus said, "You
Jesus
are
said you are
mine."
mine. Yeah.
Like,
I am
wow,
definitely Jesus's favorite girl right now. And Actually, the
Wow.
other thing that I'd also want to say is Jesus really helped me love myself, because at a point I felt like I didn't deserve love. I didn't deserve any of these things. I
Your
felt
worth,
like I
yeah.
deserved absolutely nothing. Like I was worthless. Like, I mean, look at everything that is happening to me and all. Like, I felt like no one loved me. And also it came down to also, the family members not really understanding you and all that, or like being on your side. So you just feel so alone. Even like blood omusaayi gw'ogabana n'omuntu, it's nothing. You get. So
Yeah.
really, Jesus restores. He
You
restore.
have to
You
love
love
yourself
yourself.
first. Yeah.
You,
And then
yeah,
you can love
and
other
it comes
people.
from God, because Jesus loved you first. So you owe to love yourself. It's a must. You have to love yourself.
Yeah.
So really,
Yeah.
Jesus just helped me navigate everything. I say loving myself again. I say loving my body. I used to wear baggy clothes. I don't want anyone to see any bit of me. But right now I can, wear dresses, I can,
Yeah.
wear something
Yes.
nice, look good and feel confident. I say loving my body again, say loving myself again. Um, I also realized that everything that happened was not really my fault. And I had no control over whatever happened at that particular point. But I am looking forward to what God has in store for me.
Yo. Me, I can't wait for that. Like, what do they call it? Season, the new season of your life. It's like, like when the new season ends and they're like,
It's going
what's
to be
next?
so
Like, I am
exciting. I'm so
anticipating.
excited.
Yes, I can imagine. I can
I
imagine.
sit here
I
and I'm
am
praying and I'm telling God, I know my future is completely different. I know that I'm a
big.
happier woman. I know that I am taking care of everything that is around me. I'm taking care of everyone that is around me, whoever needs my help. I know you have already planned all these things ahead for me. And this is just a journey. Like, I just have to be patient. Like, and
It's
that
the
is it. And
beginning.
I've seen God
Work.
put me in places that I have never expected to be in. I've gone to offices,
Yo.
I've gone to companies that I had no idea that I would even come on. Like, I first of all, by the way, before we even end, I procrastinated the paint and plant experience for a whole year before I even started it. So I did this year.
Wow.
The whole of like last year, I was supposed to start it last year, but I was like, and when I
When is
the
the next
first
one? When is the next one?
we,
Because
we
I would
have
really
an
want to be a
edition
part of
on
it.
Sunday.
Or is
This
there another one
tomorrow.
after that?
Yeah, we do have others. I can share with you our calendars
Okay,
and
you share with
everything
me. I
then.
don't. I have some. I don't want to tell when I'm coming to Uganda.
Hey.
For Billy said the photos, I was like, ah, she's coming, she's coming. Let's put in our orders. Yes, please let me know. I
I
would really
know.
definitely want to. Yeah, I would definitely want to be a part of it because I saw it was very very beautiful. Yeah, thank you so much, Divine. This has been, I think, I don't want to say one of my favorite podcast. I'm going to cut that out because I don't want people to come for me. But
Don't make
this
people
has
feel
been
bad, please.
no, this has been an amazing experience. Like I have experienced you, and it has been a very great experience. And thank you so much. This has been an
You're
amazing experience,
welcome.
and I know, I decree and declare that you are your whatever it is that God has a plan for you. It's not just in Uganda. You're going to plant. You're planting seeds everywhere in the world, as in,
Amen.
as in, Bill Gates is going to call you and say, "You girl,
Come on.
come." I need you. Thank you so much. And to any person who is listening, this is precisely the reason why you have once again re-echoed how important it is to be worthy of yourself. Like first, feel like you're worthy of being in rooms and like self-worth is the most important thing in
Yeah,
this world.
very,
And
very
you can't
important.
go much farther if you do not have that self-worth and
And
confidence.
also, people
And
treat
number
you
two,
exactly how you treat yourself. So,
exactly. And secondly, what happened to you doesn't define you. It's just a building block of to show you where your life is going to be. Because if you don't deal with your past, it's hard for you to see how your future is going to be. So,
yeah.
guys, I know I don't even have to beg you to listen to this episode to be inspired because I know this episode is going to inspire, and I'm hoping people will be like, please bring her back for part 10. Thank you so much, Divine. Thank you. This
Well,
was a
thank you so
really,
much
really
for this
wonderful
opportunity,
afternoon.
Rusty, to come and
Yeah,
share
thank
my
you.
testimony and to talk about God.
Amen.
Anytime you want to talk about
Amen.
God, I am a pioneer, please. I will say
Yes,
everything
I've seen
that
it.
I
I
have to
say
say
it.
because
I say it.
I have
Yeah.
seen God work firsthand. So I think, yeah, I
Amen.
should be a good
Amen. Yeah,
testifier.
you will.
Yeah.
Please help me spread the word by sharing our episodes with your friends, family, and followers. Let's amplify the voices of women, break barriers, challenge stereotypes, and create a network of support and empowerment. Together, we can bring about positive change and make this world a better place for all. This is SheCentre, the female podcast, where women's stories matter. I love you all. God bless.